Welcome to this international relation lecture. In this lecture, we will take SAARC, South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation. Now, we will take all the topics related to the SAARC which will be relevant for your exam. There is no need to know everything for related topic because there are so many topics and related to the current affair you can't remember, but you must have a glimpse of it. Moving ahead with this lecture, first I will request you to please go through this lecture till the end so that you will have a clear picture. Please like and subscribe. Your subscription is a form of payment for me. So what is the principle of this SAARC nation? So it is like the cooperation. First they want build a cooperation, communication between different nations present in the South Asia, because if you see Europe and America and the all other places, they will have a very good connectivity. Connectivity is very good in those places even though they have faced lots of wars through their neighboring countries only. And if you see connectivity of India to the South Asian countries and all, you will see we almost have a no communication, land communication. That's what India tries to build up so that the trade, economic activity like tourist places and all will increase and ultimately economy of the country will improve. So that is the main motive of the India with this SAARC grouping. Okay. So what is the principle of this SAARC grouping? So they want to build up a framework with the cooperation of the SAARC that shall be based on what? Sovereignty, equality. Sovereignty, equality means what? Nobody can change your decision. Like you should not be influenced by any another country to take a decision. You should be sovereign. You should be independent. Nobody can change your decision. You should not take any decision on the interference or on the flow of some other's country decision. You should be take a independent decision. It should be equality. Territorial integrity should be maintained. Political independence, non-interference should be there in the internal affairs of the other states, and there should be mutual benefit within the countries, within the cooperation, within the group of all those countries coming into this grouping. That is the main motive of this SAARC grouping. Okay. So this such cooperation shall not be substitute for any bilateral or multilateral cooperation, but it should be a complement them. Like they should come together. It should not be like two countries are talking together within them each other. No, it should not be like that. It is a grouping where they should be independent and they should come together for build up a communication. They should come for increasing their trading activity, economic activity, and ultimately everybody will improve, everybody will develop. So such cooperation shall not be inconsistent. It means that there should not be breakage. They should meet each other every time. Even this COVID time, India did the best. India provided the medicines. Even India built up the hospitals. India built up centers for the COVID in many places, even the Afghanistan region also. So it is like that. India want to build up those things, but the only problem with the India is Pakistan. Pakistan is not supporting India, and that's why India wants SAARC minus Pak grouping. Many times I have seen that Pakistani people have also watched my video and they have put a comment in the sections that I am from Pakistan and you are telling like that. So it is not against any country or the people, but I am telling on the basis of facts. Okay. So such cooperation shall not be inconsistent with the bilateral and the multilateral obligation. So who are the members of SAARC? See, for the members of SAARC there are only 8 members, so you can remember it. But there are other groupings where you will see more than 30 plus members. For that, you don't have to remember all those 30 names. Just go through that grouping and check whether the India is a partner of that group or not. Okay, that's it. So for this SAARC comprises of 8 countries. You have to remember what are these countries. Just like see the map of our neighboring countries and you will remember it. So these countries are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India. See, Afghanistan is there, Bangladesh is there, then India is whole there. Okay, Afghanistan here, Bangladesh will be here, India is here, Bhutan is here, then Maldives, then Nepal, then Pakistan, then Sri Lanka. So all these are the 8 members of the state. Okay, remember it. Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and India is forcing to be a SAARC grouping as SAARC minus Pakistan because Pakistan does not support any of the activity of India. So apart from these 8 member states, we have 9 observers. Which are the 9 observers? Australia, China, European Union, Iran, Japan, Republic of Korea, Mauritius, Myanmar, and the USA. Okay, so what are the objectives of this grouping? So the objective is to just remember this highlighted point that will help you in getting the picture of object. It is not like that you have to mug up all those things. Just have a picture in your mind, what is this SAARC grouping and what is this objective. That's it, so that you will have a glimpse of it if any questions come directly in exam, so you can identify the issue. So the objective is to promote the welfare of the people of all those grouping, that is South Asian grouping, and it is to improve their quality of life. Okay, second, to accelerate the economic growth. All the countries who wants to come together, who wants to have relations with each other, it is not like that we want to be a friend, we have a heartly connections, we all were human beings. No, the only motive with all the countries is to get economical growth of their country. That is the main motive for all the regions, any groupings that happens in our global perspective. So to accelerate the economic growth, social progress and cultural development in the regions, and provide all the individuals opportunity to live with dignity and to realize their full potentials. Third, to promote the strengthen and collective self-reliance, and that's what currently India has come with the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So India is reducing the imports and the related to various manufacturing, and India is giving incentive. If you are going to get more than 4 to 6% improvement is there in your sale, and if the product that is manufactured in India, then you will get incentive by the government. Government has also stopped importing of the defense product by 20. They have a target for 21, 22, 23, 25. They have set some targets, and as per that they are working on it. So it should be like they have, all the countries should be have like self-reliance. There should be a confidence within them. They should work upon them. It should not be like they should be completely dependent upon each other. So among the countries of South Asia, and we have to make a coupling with each other also, so that relation will improve. To contribute the mutual trust, understanding the appreciation of the another problems, to promote active collaboration and mutual assistance in the economical, social, cultural, technical, and the scientific field. To strengthen the cooperation with the other developing countries. So like if country A is developing country, or country B is also developing country, and if they have some good technology, country A have, let us suppose, good technology, so they can have a mutual interaction, so that they will share those technology with each other, and ultimately all countries will prosper together. It is like bookish thing that, yeah, we will, everybody will be good, so no war will be there. No, there may be some other countries who will be conflicting with each other. So that's what this is the main motive, this is the main objective of this SAARC. So to strengthen the cooperation among themselves in the international forums on the matters of common interest, and to cooperate with the international and the regional organization similar aims and purposes. So if they want, they can go against the groupings more countries, like if the country is not present within that grouping, so they will have an observer states also. So observer states, or if they are including another countries also, so what is the thing, what is the quality that they will look in making collaboration or making observer state of particular country? So that country should have a similar aim and purposes. Like, see, USA is involved, USA is also a democrat country, so you want collaboration, good communications, and they want a good trading like things. So for that, it means like we should have an interaction with those countries, with those regional countries who should have a same mindset, who should have a same aim and same purpose to develop, to have a good community interaction, to have a social, cultural, technical collaboration. Okay, so these are the objectives under the SAARC nation. So why SAARC is important? What is its important? So if you see, SAARC comprises of these 8 countries: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, and these 8 countries are comprises of 3% of the world's area. Like if you see the area of the world, it comprises of total 3%. It is a very highest number. It is not highest, it is a very high number, and it comprises of 20% of the world's population. And in that, if you see, China is also there. China and India is already on the topmost for the population. So if you see, China is not the member, but excluding China, if you see, the 21% of the world population is in that grouping only, and 3.8% is of their global economy. So by this data you can understand the importance of this SAARC. Okay, so remember this data is very important. This SAARC comprises of what? SAARC comprises of 3% of the total world's area, and the global economy will also be 3.8%. so it is like that. If you remember, 3.8% of the global economy, so it will be similar only for throughout the coming years also. It is not like that if you're watching this video in 2020 and if you're watching that video in 2022, so there will be a huge difference in the data, that 3.8% may change in 5%. No, it won't be like that. So the data will be similar only. So this will be helpful. So remember those data. This data is not going to change. 3% of the world's area if the 8 countries are included in that SAARC. If the Pakistan will be removed, then there will be another data, but right now it is a 3% of the world's area, 21% of the world's population, and 3.8% of the global economy. And it is creating synergies by collaboration. Synergies means collaboration of the different groupings and coming as a new one, have a developed one. Okay, so it is the world's most densely populated region and one of the most fertile areas of the SAARC countries. India is already fertile one and have a common traditions, dresses, food, culture, political aspects, thereby synergizing their actions. Turbans, people, kurtas, pajamas, and rituals, religions, everything almost are same for those countries. So that's why it is creating synergies. More synergies are being created within by getting collaboration for those countries, and they have a common solutions for them. Like all the SAARC countries have common problem issues, like all the countries are facing poverty, illiteracy, malnutrition, natural disasters, earthquake, flood, so and like even cyclones and also. So these, they have a common problem. So that's why why don't we fight together if we have a common problem only? Internal conflict, industrial technological backwardness, because the technological high technology is only stored in the Western countries only. Western countries are getting stored. So these countries are also backward in the technologies, low GDP and poor socio-economical conditions. So we have to uplift our living standards by grouping together, because we know our issues, we know our problem, and we all have a common problem. Thus this SAARC grouping is very important. Okay, so this create a common areas for development and progress having a common solution. Okay, so that's what India have also built a Chabahar port and all. So these all things have been kept in the mind, and thus why India is also collaborating in this COVID situation. Also India have moved forward and helped them. So what is the SAARC achievement? First SAARC achievements is to make a free trade agreement, free trade area, that if low tariff should be there for those countries, like if they have a grouping, so they should have a low tariff. So SAARC is comparatively a new organization in the global arena. The member of these countries have established a free trade area which will increase the internal trade and lessen the trade gap of the country, like trade gap between the different countries. Like if they have introduced low tariff for those countries, like Afghanistan, if you are getting product from Afghanistan, Bangladesh or the Maldives, you will charge less tax for them, less import duty for them. So this is one of the achievement of the SAARC. But one of the drawback is also that your dumping will happen, like dumping of the foreign products will happen. Your domestic manufacturer will be hampered with this free trade area kind of things. So that's why our PM has said that we should become self-reliant, and Atmanirbhar Bharat Yojana has been launched, where they have given, like if your that incentive will be provided, like if you are earning 4% to 6%, if you're manufacturing, like if your profit will earn like that, increase from that, then government will provide you incentive. If you are the tax incentive may be provided, like that government is trying to make India as a self-reliable. So ultimately foreign companies will, FDI will come into India. Another achievement, SAPTA, South Asia Preferential Trading Agreement, which promotes trade amongst the member countries, that came into effect from 95 only. Remember at that time, during those years we implemented our LPG. Okay, now SAFTA, a free trade agreement confined to goods but excluding all services. Like it was confined to only goods area, but it excluded like information technology, IT sector, which was signed to reduce the custom duties of all the traders goods to zero by the year 2016. So ultimately if you are reducing the custom duty also, so it is going to hamper your domestic manufacture. So it confined, that a free trade agreement was confined till your goods only. Now after that SAFTA, your IT sector will also be included, and thus custom duties will be reduced. Now the SAARC agreement on trade and services, SATIS is followed by the GATS, like General Agreement on Trade Services, which will have a positive its approach for the trade and services, and absolutely make liberalization free. Everybody we should able to do trade from different places, and they should have a less tariff, less import duty. So if you see India is earning less also due to those groupings also. We will have a discussions on those topic also. So the SAARC University that has been established in India, and a food bank have been also reserves in the Pakistan. So this was all about this achievement. And now why is this SAARC is significant for India? In what manner is this is significant? So we will see neighborhood first policy India have approach from starting only, and due to this SAARC only India have showed, like even when the earthquake happened, India was the first. Even the Prime Minister of that Nepal was not knowing about that earthquake and the disaster. India was the first to help them. Geostrategic significance, that China is there, so we can counter, like China is trying to build a economic corridor in our regions, in our Gilgit Baltistan region, with the grouping with the collaboration with the Pakistan, where Russia has also come with the investment. So geostrategical, this will be, you will have a whole control for, like you will have a good connectivity with the Asian, South Asia and all. So geostrategic significance is also important, that it can counter China through engaging Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Sri Lanka in development process and economical cooperation. Regional stability, the SAARC can help in creation of mutual trust and peace with the region. Global leadership role, if you see in that grouping, India is always trying to be a leader for that, and India is like, economically if you see, India is at good position for them. Even for the defense also, if you see, India is at good position. So this will help India to emerge as a leader. Like earlier we used to hear the terms as the USA and the Russia on the leadership, but now if you see from the Indian Ocean and the Indian Pacific grouping, or the Indian Pacific term that was coined by first time by the Japan, and USA is also coming for the Indo-Pacific region. So India is emerging as a leader for those issues. So this SAARC helps India in emerging as a leadership quality, leadership role, so that everybody will listen India. So it offers India a platform to showcase its leadership in the region by taking up extra responsibilities, and that's what India is doing too. If you see in the Bay of Bengal or that Andaman and Nicobar Islands, India is checking all those smugglings area from the Somalia regions also. India is checking all those issues. So it is like India is emerging as a leader of that region. So game changer for India is like Act East policy. Like India is like now getting connectivity with those Act East policy. Like if you see South China Sea issue, China has an issue with the South China disputes, like Singapore or Indonesia. So all these have disputes with the China. China is claiming its presence in the sea. As per the region, that economically 200 nautical miles are allowed from the landlocked regions, but China is saying that all those things, Tibet and all these, that if you see that Singapore, Burma, from that place also 200 nautical miles, China is not allowing them. China is telling that all those South China Sea issues, South China presence is with me. So what happens? All the resources, all the petroleum present on those regions which belongs to other countries, China is claiming over that, and China is going to own that. So that's why India is turning as a game changer for Act East policy. Like India is now collaborating with those countries present in that regions, and ultimately it is challenging it is challenging China. And India have a quadrilateral grouping also, India, Japan, Australia, USA. So these all groupings are coming together, and ultimately it is giving India a very important position. If you see, supply chain resilience initiative has been signed between the India, Japan and Australia. I have made videos on that also. So these things, these collaboration are making India as a leadership, as India as an important position for it, and that's what China is worrying about it, and that's what a ring connection is being made by China. Like China has a Hambantota port now. One road, one belt initiatives taken by the China, that it is creating a railway track from their regions passing through the Arunachal Pradesh to the Nepal side. Till Nepal. So it is like China is trying to cover India from all the sides. China is making good relation. China is trying to make good relation with the Nepal also. So these are the challenges for India, and through this grouping, India is also proving its emerging as an important country, as a great country, as a leader country, as a leadership quality, having country which have a leadership quality like USA and Russia had. And they have also. So the game changer for India is like Act East policy. Now India has started to look for the Act. Earlier it was like Look East policy. India was following earlier Look East policy. Now India is following Act East policy, that they will have a collaboration with them, Burma, that's Myanmar and all. We will have a lecture. I have uploaded that lecture for the Act East policy, Look East and Act East policy, and I've clearly defined the differences between that also. So by linking the South Asian economies with the South East Asia will bring further economic integration and prosperity to India, mainly in the services sector. So what are the challenges? So low frequencies meetings are being held is the main challenge, because what we have seen that it should be consistent. I have coined a term where the objective is to be consistent. It should not be inconsistent. And what we are seeing that they have a low frequency meeting. It means that it is inconsistent. So more engagement is required so that the member states, and instead of meeting should be held continuously, and biennial meeting should be held like annually, should be annual, that in the year 2 times meeting should be held. It's like that. So broad area cooperation is required, where Pakistan is always an issue with the India, which lead to a diversion of energy and the resources. Limitation of this SAFTA, that the implementation of this SAFTA, like IT sectors, collaboration with the IT sectors and all goods services are also there through free trade agreement. Like, so the implementation of the SAFTA has not been satisfactory with this IT sector, with the software related issues, software related trades, where the custom duties was reduced till 0 till 2016. So this was not very good, satisfactory. It was not very satisfactory, but and that free trade agreement confined to goods only. So excluding all services like information technology was not included in the free trade, but to the SAFTA also it is not good. It is not satisfactory also. So, and further, Indo-Pak relations is always a problem for this grouping. So escalation, tensions and conflict between the India and Pakistan have severely hampered the prospects of the SAARC, and that's why India is always trying to make a SAARC grouping as a SAARC minus Pakistan, because whatever the decision is going to be taken, whatever the ideas or whatever the implementation is India is going to make, Pakistan will always be against it. Okay, so what is the way forward with this SAARC grouping? So in a region increasing targeted by the Chinese investment, like if you see for the Baltistan region, where in the economic corridor with the China is going to develop, so China's investment is getting increases, and China used to give heavy loans. China's motive is like they will burden you with the loan, and ultimately they will take over that land for more year. Like if you see the Hambantota port of the Sri Lanka, it has done the same thing, and where China has taken 99 years of lease for that area. So China's investment is increasing around the India. That is like pearls, string of pearls it is being called. So SAARC could be a common platform to be, demand more sustainable alternative for development, or to oppose trade tariff together, or to demand better terms for the South Asia labor around the world. SAARC as an organization reflects the South Asian identity of the countries. It helps identifying those countries which are not being identified as a good one. Many times they were identified as a terrorist organizations and all. So it reflects South Asian identity, that it helped identifying those countries historically and contemporarily. This naturally made geographical identity. Equally, there is a cultural, linguistic, religious and that a culinary affinity that defines the South Asia. So they have a common interest, and further they have a common issues. So that's why this grouping was made, and that's why this grouping is very important in tackling with those issues because they have a common problem. The potential of this organization is to maintain peace and stability in the region should be explored by all the member countries. It should land like that only India should be trying to tackle with all problem. No, all the countries should come together and should fight for this peace and stability for the regions. SAARC should be allowed to progress naturally, and the people of South Asia, that they should collaborate together. Tourism should be encouraged. Further, for tourism sector you can reduce the taxes and all for them. So which makes up a quarter for the world's population, as this is almost a quarter for the world population. See, around 21% of the world population. It is around what, 25%, just making it is just equal to a quarter only. So it is making world's population quarterly of the world population. So just think, if you improve the tourism sector, how much it will benefit economically, how much it will benefit. I won't only benefit India, also other nations also. Harappan civilization isn't present in our western side, we can go there. So that's what it is trying to say, that all countries should come together, should collaborate together, should develop together. Okay, so the population should be offered more and people to people contact, so communication should be improved, and ultimately we all together will develop. So I hope you have understand this lecture. Please like and subscribe. Your subscription is a form of payment for me, and if you have any suggestions, if you want any on demand video lecture, please feel free to ping on my Twitter handle. The link is given in the description. Thank you.